Okay, so there is advanced tab here. In that, part center line option is given. Now we can turn on and off this part center line, and then part reference line. Sorry, part center line means it is a geometric center of that part. Okay, geometric center. So in case of steel, say this is my steel beam. So reference my reference sorry, center line will be here, geometric center. Okay, and reference can be anywhere. Reference line can be as per the model. Okay, but the geometric center will be the center line. So this center line will be geometric center. Reference line can be as per the user. Okay, it will be defined as per the user. So wherever that user positions that beam, it will be coming there. Okay, so for example, say for beam we are keeping the position here. So this reference line will be measured from here or visible from here, right? So for beam, reference line will be at top of the flange. This portion we call it as a flange, and this is as a web. Okay. So okay. So web and flange. So here on flange you will see the reference line. Okay. It can come on the top flange or bottom flange. It will depend upon the um, position kept by user. Okay, so user decides whether it has to be here or it has to be here. It also depends on the design drawings, right? So sometimes it might be here also, reference. Okay, so it depends on the design drawing, right? So and user decides where that position has to be. So that is reference line. And center line, as we know, it will be the geometric center of any cross section. Then we have this part label where uh, there are some options given here. Few options are there which can be added in the label so that it is visible in the model itself directly. You can see the contents of certain elements. And then there is connection text here. I will give you example later how this works. And connection text, you can add the connection label also. If there are certain joints you have to check in one go, then you have to turn this on, connection text, and you will be able to see all the names of the connections. Okay. With that you can understand what all connections are applied and on which location they are there. Then this is point size. Points is nothing but those are the 3D point. uh, that size can be adjusted from here. Okay, visibility. Generally points will be kept under a small visibility. Sometimes we are not able to identify some points, then we can increase the size of those points so that they are visible from a longer distance. Right? Some bigger models, it is not easy to identify some points, small points. Okay, so that time we can increase this to 1000 or 10,000. Okay, so there's those points, grips on that point will become bigger, and you'll be able to see those points clearly. Okay. And lastly, we have this group, we visible object group. We have this button here, object group. Now, what this object group does is uh, there are certain rows here. Okay, rows are given here. You can add a number of rows here, a number of rows, which will define the condition. Okay, for controlling the visibility of objects. Okay, this is for controlling the visibility of the objects. View filter. Okay, with the word itself, we know that filter means it will control the visibility, okay, of the objects inside the view. Okay, this selected view, it will control the visibility inside the selected view. So all those options which we are seeing, they are controlling the view, okay, controlling the visibility of the view, right? So similar, this here we can add a number of rows here. Okay, and you can add any kind of condition, whatever condition you want. There are different categories given here. Okay, different categories are given here. You can choose from any category, and any combination you can use from here. Okay, then conditions are given, what kind of condition you have to apply to certain part or certain properties, that can be decided from here, like numerical conditions will be there. So greater than, less than. Okay, numerical conditions will be having the numbers, so greater than and less than is there here, and all the others are begin with, contains, all these are related to the characters. Okay, alphabetical characters. So these conditions are there, and we can add the characters or numbers here, and we can give the conditions, okay, from given here in the condition tab or condition column. Okay, you can provide n number of conditions. There is no limit for these conditions. Okay, and you can save the settings. The important thing is you can save that settings and it will be stored here. Say for example, if I need to add some setting like part name, I'm adding one condition here, being, right? So my filter, okay, I will save it. Okay, I can save it directly. So whenever, say for example, this is standard, this is standard setting, and if I want to see what is there in the saved setting, which I saved just now, my filter, right? So it will show me the content, whatever I have set there, it will show me directly. Okay, this way we are setting the filter. There are different conditions, various conditions are there. Slowly while progressing through the model, you will understand what all conditions are there and how we can add those in this view filter, right? So that was group filter, and the saved settings will be listed here. We can directly apply it from here also. Okay, once we have objects inside this, you can understand how the filter works. Right now we don't have any objects here, or any elements are not there, so we cannot apply the filter without any element. So we need some model to apply this filters, right? So that was view property, what we saw just now. Then we have grid properties, right? In that grid properties will enter the coordinates, different coordinates of x, y, z coordinates are there. We have to enter as per the design drawing given to us. Okay, in design drawing, it will mention what kind of coordinates or spacing, grid spacings we have been given in the design drawing. So as per that, we will enter the coordinates here. Like in x direction, there are say n number of grids with n number of spacing, then we can add the spacing as it is given in the design then. Okay? And reference will always start from 0. So 0, 0, 0. So this 0, 0, this 0, 0 is the origin. Okay, 0, comma 0. So it will always start from 0 and reference will be from 0. So grid will start from 0 always, and it will move on in the x direction. Okay, when you are entering any numbers or any values here, then it will move in this direction. Okay, that's spacing. This is the x direction, right? X, and y means it will go in this direction, right? So whatever spacings you are entering or whatever values you are entering here, it will add the spacing as given in this dialog box, right? So and here you have to enter the labels. Labels are nothing but this text which you are seeing here. They are called the labels. Okay, so those are the text inputs. These are the text input. So there are no numbers involved. Even though here you can see there are numbers shown, but those are not actually the numerical inputs. Those are actually alphabetical inputs, textual input. Okay, so those are converted to text. So whenever I see these labels, I can manipulate this to any. Actually, this is 7,000, so I can convert this into meter like 0.7, okay, or say 7.0. Okay, so still it will work. It will show 7.0. So whenever I'm reading in this view, it will show me 7. Okay, but lengthwise or decimal dimension wise it will be 7,000. Okay, measurement wise, or if you're taking the measurement, so measurement wise it will be 7,000. It will be in always millimeters. And here, because I have changed the display of that label, so while displaying 7,000 it will show you 7.0. Okay, so that way we can manipulate here, but we can't change here. This will be fixed, like this will be in millimeters itself. Hmm. We cannot change this to meters. So this input will be in millimeters always. So whatever you want to change, you can change the display of that. You can scale it and change the display here, or the labels. In labels you can add whatever you want to add there. Right, so that was grids. These are the extensions. You can see here there are extensions from this intersection till here. So this is the intersection, right? Extension, sorry, 2000. So you can see the grids are extended beyond the intersection points in all directions. So all these directions are mentioned here. We can adjust it from here. Generally, we don't adjust this area. We will only work in this area, coordinates and labels. We don't manipulate this uh, line extensions. Hmm. If there is any requirement, certain requirement, then only we will go for the modification of this line extension, unless we don't modify here. Hmm. Then we have this thing, what we call steel menu. Okay, this is the steel menu. From steel toolbar, sorry, steel toolbar. From steel toolbar, you can add steel items. Okay, so any steel item I have to add, I can add it from here directly. I can add it from here. Okay, just double click the icon here. This is a column icon. And if I want to add columns, then I have to double click on this icon, and I have to change the if I need to change anything in this, then I can change here. If I want to change certain fields, I can change it from here. There are certain fields given in attribute, certain fields are there in position, deformation. So whichever field I want to change, I can change here, and then I can apply those settings to the columns, right? So here you can see there are many settings are there right now in attribute. So this is very important part whenever you are placing any members. This thing you have to keep it in mind. Attributes. The first part is attributes. In attributes, we have numbering tab. We should call it as a numbering tab. Okay, first attribute tab is there. In that, numbering option is there, and these are the attributes. This is the numbering part. Numbering part will control the numbers, okay, or the tags, or we can say markings. Certain elements or certain steel parts needs proper marking. Okay, so for that we can provide a marking system here, right? So generally for one column you need to decide what kind of mark you are giving here, and that will be applied for the rest of the columns. So once you apply here, then it will be whenever you add any column, those applied parameters will be added to the next column, preceding columns. Okay, so this is very important. Whenever you are setting, you have to apply this. Whenever you finalize these settings, you have to apply this, and then you have to proceed with adding. So how many columns you have to add? You need to just select apply this to the properties. Okay, whatever properties you have to set, you have to first check and set all these properties, and then apply, and then you can go ahead and place the columns, right? Then we have position here. In position you can see there is vertical position given, middle, down and up. This we can change as per the requirement in design drawing or in design. So whatever the requirement is given in design, we can manipulate as per that. Generally for I section columns, columns will keep this as middle and middle, both the areas. Horizontally and vertically, column will be in the middle. Okay, so the line of action of column will be passing through its center. So that's why position will always be in the middle for columns, any kind of column. And rotation can be as per the design drawing. So flange direction of flange and web, it will depend on the design drawing. So the position given in the design drawing, you have to match those positions, right? In order to have a proper connectivity for that building. So we have to match each and every detail of the design drawing given to us. Right, then we have this important part is in columns we have these levels, top and bottom levels are given. So column will start from certain level and end on certain levels, right? So it is defined here, it is predefined, right? So whatever column you are placing, you can predefine it here and then apply it, and then go on adding those columns simultaneously, right? So what I will do, I will just apply it. Okay, I will not change any settings here. So I will just I have just taken the normal settings and I'm applying. So this is how we are placing the column. Okay, just you have to click one point at the grid intersections, right? Column generally will be coming on the grid intersections. So these are the grid intersections, right? We are placing the columns. We'll be placing the columns this way.
सर
Okay? Yeah.
सर मैं आपने जो अभी किया था ना वैसे ही मैं किया, लेकिन मेरा कॉलम मतलब ग्रिड पे कॉलम ड्रॉ नहीं हो रही है.
Not coming.
नॉट कमिंग सर.
You can check the levels here. What are the levels
लेवल्स
given here?
लेवल्स दिखा रहा है -500 बॉटम पे और टॉप पे 7200।
Okay, so it should come then. आना चाहिए फिर वो. It should come. ऐसे क्लोज
नहीं आ रहा
करो,
है और
क्लोज करो, इंटरप्ट करो ऐसे. You can see on
क्या?
the screen interrupt and close कर दो वो dialog. And then again click करो यहाँ पे and then add.
नहीं आ रहा है तभी भी।
ऐसा आइकॉन आ रहा है क्या? माउस पॉइंटर ऐसा है प्लस
नहीं
वाला? नहीं ना.
नहीं नहीं,
माउस पॉइंटर कैसे दिखा रहे हैं आपको?
एक मिनट दिखाता हूँ सर।
हम्म.
माउस पॉइंटर सर जो आपने वो ग्रीन कलर, हाँ अभी जो कर्सर आप दिखा रहे हैं ना उसी वैसा ही आ रहा है।
ऐसा आ रहा है.
हाँ लेकिन वो ग्रीन कलर का जो है ना वो नहीं आ रहा है।
जूम करो जरा. कैन यू जूम? स्क्रॉल करो उसको ऐसे. ऐसे स्क्रॉल करेंगे ना. हाँ. ओके, उसको जूम एक सर्टेन इंटरसेक्शन पॉइंट में लेके आओ, उसको जूम करो. ग्रिड इंटरसेक्शन. ओके, कैन यू शो मी द ग्रिड प्रॉपर्टीज?
एक मिनट है सर।
उसको थोड़ा नजदीक से बताओ मुझे. आई एम नॉट एबल टू सी दैट.
एक मिनट सर, एक मिनट।
ओके ठीक है. नाउ विल कीप इट असाइड. अभी साइड में रखते हैं. ठीक है, जब हम
हाँ
स्टार्ट करेंगे ना, व्हेन वी विल स्टार्ट दिस modeling,
मॉडलिंग
that
पार्ट।
time, yeah, modeling part जब start करेंगे, that time we'll clarify all those things, right? So now we'll
ओके
move on to the lecture, right? So lecture will get over. हाँ?
ओके
ठीक है.
ठीक है सर।
हाँ. Right. So that is the way we added the columns here. In the similar way, you can add beams also. So I will just double click on the beam, and you will see same kind of options are there here in the beam also. So what all options are there? You can just see like a numbering. You are having a minor mark and a major mark. Sorry, major mark and minor mark. So minor mark is on the top side, major mark is on the bottom side. Assembly will be the major mark and part will be the minor mark. Okay. Always all the assemblies will be having major and minor mark for identification. So these are for identification of the elements, right? And there are unique combinations given by the client or by the designer. Generally, it will not be by the designer. So this numbering identifications will generally will be as per the shop. Okay, fabricator. So whoever is the fabricator, he will be deciding the marking system. If you don't have any system from them, then we will go for the default system given by Tekla Structures. So we can follow the default. This default we can follow, or we can go with the fabricator settings. So sometimes there are certain requirements, like the marking systems needs to be in certain format, like say for example PR01 dash 01 dash C. Okay, this way. So PR01 refers to the certain module or certain rack. Okay, so that naming, if it is required for that fabricator, then we have to go as per those norms given by the fabricator, right? uh, if it is not there, if nothing is there from the fabricator, then we will simply keep it as default. Okay, so this is the default settings. And similarly, you will be having the option in call name. Okay, naming is also like it is the information related to what kind of item we are seeing there, right? So that naming will be given here. So if you are dealing with column, then we will give the name as column. If we are dealing with beam, then we will give the name beam, right? And then next, this is also very important part. Okay, and should be precisely given for all the elements. Okay, so all the elements which are similar should contain this naming proper. Okay, it should not be like if you're adding a column and you are giving name as beam, so that is wrong. It will give you wrong results. Okay, while when we are making the drawing or we are numbering certain elements, that time it will give you a wrong result. Okay, so result will be wrong due to this numbering. Okay, so it will affect the numbering of items, and later on it will affect the work also, right? And the next is your profile. Here we can see we are seeing some description here. Okay, so we can change this as per design drawings. So how that can be changed is there is a button here, select. So whenever I'm selecting there, I can get the catalog. You can see here there is a catalog here. Huge catalog is there, and I can select items from here or select the sizes. These are the sizes given. Okay, I can select from the available sizes, whatever sizes I need, I can select from there, and I will just say apply. Okay, and once I apply, it's like for example is 73. I want to add 107, so I will just apply. Okay, so once I apply and okay, you can see that member size is now applied, right, to this uh, properties. Okay, then we have material. Similar to profile, it is also having a select button here for material grade, and here you can see different kind of grades are available, and these are related to that specific standard, right? Here we have opened it in UK standard, so these grades and profiles will be related to that specific environment, right? We have chosen UK environment, so you are seeing the all these properties or the data, it is related to the UK environment only, right? So you can choose from the data given here. For example, S355 is what we need, then we have to just apply like we applied for the profile. Okay, so this is the way we are updating those things, or we are setting the properties, right? And then material we have set. Lastly we have finish. Okay, finish is nothing but it is related to the uh, coating, or what you can say, touch up or final touch up, or it is related to the coloring of certain elements. Okay, coloring, the physical coloring. Okay, so physical coloring means generally the steel items will be painted. Some paint will be provided to them. Okay, and paint, primer, all those protections will be provided to all the steel elements, so that will be also as per the design requirement and the area requirement of that area, certain area. Say it is having very high temperatures, so then that time we need to have a fire protection there for steel. Okay, so all those things we need to mention it here in finish, so that the fabricator will be aware. whoever is fabricating, he will be aware, okay, this member is having some finish, okay, some paint finish is given, so he is to apply that finish or that coat to that certain member. Okay. Then we have class. Class is nothing but it is a uh, color, okay, color given by Tekla. Class is the color defined by Tekla structures. Okay, so there are certain class definitions. Class fixed colors are there. So 7 refers to pink. If I'm adding a 7 class, it will look like a pink. Okay, similarly, if I'm adding any other class, it will give me different color, different kind of color. Okay, so this is related to colors. And then position, we already saw in position in column, we have to decide it as per the design drawings, right? Apply, okay. And here now we'll go to beam. In beam also you can see the similar features are there, which are similar to what we saw in the column area. Okay, so these are similar to column but slightly different because the element the what do you call it, use of this element is different. Okay, so different as per the column, different compared to column, so that's why that's why we have a different this thing options for placing a column and placing a beam, right? So this option is for placing a beam. Okay, and numbering same as per the column. Okay, as we saw in the column, same option is there here, and it will control the numbering of